the country has been given direction on the next general election. We believe that all independent arms of government should perform their duties as required of them by the Constitution, and we will support all institutions, independent institutions, in making sure that we have a credible, a free and fair election. We have taken a very firm position against violence, and the party's position to its members, to all our candidates, is that violence must never be part of the equation as we canvass for votes going into this election. We expect the IG and all the other institutions of government to ensure that notorious participants of elections that have a track record of violence are stopped from continuously injecting violence into our election equation. We want a firm commitment from all candidates that they will publicly disown violence. We want to challenge every presidential candidate, especially the presidential candidate of ODM, to clearly, firmly, unequivocally renounce violence. He has had the excuse of trying to explain away instances of violence perpetrated under his watch. As a party, we are making an unequivocal commitment to the people of Kenya that UDA, its members, its candidates, will not participate in violence of whatever nature. We expect the same from every party and every candidate, because Kenya deserves and should have a peaceful election. We expect the people of Kenya, out of free will, without blackmail, intimidation, or threats, to make their choices free of violence. That is our very firm position as a party. I'm going to ask members of the PG to read the statement on behalf of our parliamentary group, starting with Alice Wahome. Independent institutions in making sure that we have a credible, a free.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The statement is given today by the PG of the United Democratic Party parliamentary group after its first meeting of 2022. This is our first meeting this year, held here today, the 24th of January, 2022. Today, the United Democratic Alliance Party's parliamentary group held its first meeting for the year 2022. At the meeting, members were appraised of the progress made so far in galvanizing the party's position on the country's political spectrum. Members also had the opportunity to vigorously interrogate and audit the party's platform for socio-economic transformation based on the Hasra nation's bottom-up economic framework. Pertaining to physical developments, members expressed grave concern over attempts by the government to increase the national debt ceiling in order to extend cover for reckless expenditures and wanton siphoning of public resources that continue to disgust and nauseate Kenyans. This nauseating and unprecedented profligacy has become the intolerable monument of the handshake era. You know, we are in the handshake era since 2018. Accordingly, the PG resolved to resist any further attempts to burden the people of Kenya with the unaccountable debt. Party members have therefore resolved to oppose the proposals in the finance bill to tax people of this country any further. The UDA, as a matter of policy, is categorically opposed to the anti-poor fiscal measures and the sort of predatory taxation or the use of national revenues to sponsor unconscionable wanton waste. We look forward to participating vigorously in parliamentary business that will generate pro-poor measures and policies to address the urgent problems of the majority. As a first step, the UDA parliamentary group, has also resolved to amend the budget policy statement in order to increase the allocation to the counties to near 35%. We see this as a practical measure to increase resources to finance service delivery at the real bottom of our socio-economic pyramid. And I confirm that it is true. We met yesterday and we were guests at the ANC National Delegates Congress, and we did today confirm the movement forward, and we will engage and continue to engage the Ford Kenya and ANC, including their parliamentary groups that will be meeting with them soon. Thank you.
The UDA Parliamentary Group meeting exhaustively deliberated on the following agendas, which are part of the parliamentary calendar in its last few months. 1, the Political Parties Bill, the anticipated Election Laws Amendment Bill, the Huduma Bill, the Finance Bill 2022, the Budget Policy Statement 2022, the National Budget for 2022, the Petroleum Products Amendment Bill, which is coming for the third reading and the final, and the anticipated Regulations of Political Parties Act. Our members will participate robustly and vigilantly to ensure that the legislative output is pro-hustler, pro the citizens, and conforms with the core principles of the UDA National Assent, of the ongoing drought affecting various parts of our country, and we must give this matter serious attention because drought occasions tremendous human suffering and inflicts devastating losses to pastoralists, farmers, and all people whose livelihoods depend on the agriculture sector, the livestock and beekeeping value chain system. And we look at this in the light of the supplementary budget and the main budget that will come before this House. and more specifically, our parliamentary group, in looking at the supplementary and the main budget, will allocate resources to agricultural farmers who are now beginning the planting season in order to cushion them and give them subsidy, and ask government that the resources Parliament will allocate will act as subsidy to our farmers as they begin the planting season, and above all, allocate more resources in the supplementary and the budget for the pastoralists who are affected by the drought. Therefore, the UDA parliamentary group resolved to introduce amendments to the budget policy statement, to the supplementary budget, in order to allocate enough and adequate resources to caution Kenyans from the harsh economic conditions, including the impact of drought. As our PG goes forth to engage in Parliament on issues that matter to millions of ordinary Kenyans, the party parliamentary wing will continue to involve Kenyans of all walks of life to participate in defining and redefining our party's agenda. And this involves wananchi from all levels are invited, and from all wards to all our counties, to join us and contribute to consultations that will discuss the economy of our country, how to revamp the economy under our leadership, that will be conducted in all the 47 counties, that will be led by our economic team, working with our Secretary General at the party level. And this is what will produce the party's campaign manifesto at all levels, so that each and every Kenyan in every part of our country will have a role to participate in the development of the UDA manifesto. The UDA is committed in conducting its political activity in a peaceful, inclusive, respectful manner that optimizes democratic engagement and produces a cohesive national conversation. We therefore strongly deplore any form of inciting, divisive or discriminative activities during the campaign period or at any other time. Our communication and broadcast media must be tools of national building, not incitement and the propagation of hate within our society. Our criminal justice system must perform its constitutional duty of protecting freedom of the citizens and effectively dealing with antisocial tendencies during the campaign period. As our party leader and the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya has said it earlier, the parliamentary group has also endorsed our partnership between UDA, ANC, and Ford Kenya, and we have agreed that on all programs, and even in Parliament, on all programs of joint rallies, and that our leadership in the National Assembly and in the Senate will have a further consultation with the leadership of ANC and Ford Kenya, so that at the legislature we form a common ground and a purpose that will benefit the people of Kenya. Thank you very much.
Wanahabari, leo tumekuwa na mkutano wa wabunge wa chama cha UDA, tukiwa na maseneta na magavana wetu hapa hivi leo, na tumejadili mambo muhimu ya kitaifa ikiwepo kwamba sisi kama chama cha UDA tumekataa mambo ya uchochezi na mambo ya vurugu na mambo ya kuleta mshike katika taifa hili la Kenya wakati huu wa uongozi na kama wakati wa uchaguzi. Na kama chama tumesema kwamba wale wapinzani wetu ambao wako kule, hao pia watupatie msimamo wetu kuhusu mambo ya uchochezi na mambo ya fujo ambayo sisi tumeyakataa, na hao pia tunawaomba na kuwauliza kwamba watoe taarifa yao kuhusu maneno haya. Pili, kwamba mkutano huu tumekubaliana kuhusu ile miswada na mijadala na sheria ambazo zinakuja katika bunge, kwamba sisi kama UDA tutasimama kidete na watu wetu na wabunge wetu watakuwa bunge kujadili na kuhakikisha kwamba sheria ambazo zinapitishwa, ikiwamo bajeti ambayo inakuja na ile pesa ambayo itafadhili bajeti, kwamba sisi tutasimama kwamba miswada yote ambayo itapitishwa pale isimame na Wakenya wale wa kawaida, kwamba zile pesa ambazo zitatengewa zitengewe watu ambao kwa sasa wanapata shida na uchumi huu wetu, wale wananchi wetu wa kawaida. Na pia tunasema kwamba katika mambo ya agriculture na ile budget statement ambayo itakuja, sisi kama wana UDA tutasimama na wakulima, na tunasema kwamba vile bei ya mbolea imefika takriban shilingi 6,000, sisi kama UDA tutajaribu kusukuma na tutasukuma kwa nguvu tuiteremshe mpaka ifike 2,500, ili wakulima wetu ambao wanategemea, wananchi wetu wanategemea ukulima, na wakati huu wa ukulima, season ya ukulima na mfumo wa ukulima unaanza, ili waweze kupata nafuu na wapate mazao ambayo pia wanaweza kuuza kwa bei nzuri wakiwa katika huko mashinani. Na pia tunataka kusema kwamba, na hii ndio maneno tumesema katika PG, kwamba uchaguzi unaokuja tunauliza Wakenya wawe na amani, wawe na uwiano, lakini wachague viongozi ambao watapeleka gurudumu la taifa la Kenya mbele, na kuangalia kwamba wetu, kusisitiza kwamba uchumi wetu ndio kipaumbele wa timu yetu hii ya UDA, kwamba tutaangalia kila njia ili kila Mkenya aweze kufaidika katika serikali ambayo inakuja. Baadhi ya sheria ambazo zitakuja ni ile political parties bill. Kuna sheria za uchaguzi ambazo zinakuja, ambazo tunajua sheria hizi zinajaribu kuhujumu uchaguzi unaokuja hapo mbeleni, kwamba zile marekebisho ya sheria ambayo yanakuja yatakuwa katika bunge, sio kujaribu kusaidia uchaguzi lakini kuhujumu uchaguzi. Na sisi kama chama cha UDA tumesema tutasimama kidete na Wakenya kuhakikisha kwamba tutakuwa na uchaguzi ulio wa huru na wa haki na ambao utakubalika na kila mtu. Kuna sheria zile inaitwa huduma bill, na sisi tumeona katika hii sheria inayokuja ya huduma bill iko na vipengele ambavyo havisaidii Wakenya lakini vinasaidia wale Wakenya. Kiuchumi wa Kenya unazidi kuzodorota kwa sababu ya haya maneno ya mambo ya petroleum, mambo ya petroli. Na tunasema kwamba tukipunguza bei ya petroli, uchumi wa Kenya pia utapanda. Na sisi kama wana UDA ambao tunaamini kwamba sisi tunasimamia wale wananchi wa pale chini, wananchi wadogo, tutahakikisha kwamba wananchi wanapata haki katika hii sheria ambayo inakuja. Na pia kusema kwamba sisi tutakuwa ngangari sana huko Senate kuhusu hii maneno ya Regulations of Political Parties Act. Kama vile mlituona pale National Assembly, pale bunge la kitaifa, pia pale Senate tumejipanga kupambana kuhakikisha kwamba sheria ambazo zinapitishwa ni sheria ambazo zitasaidia Wakenya, sio kusaidia Wakenya wachache ambao wanataka mamlaka kwa mlango wa nyuma. Asanteni sana, Mungu atubariki.
As a UDA party, under the leadership of our party leader, Deputy President, we have had a very successful PG meeting, the first of such a kind in year 2022, and we have briefed the parliamentary group on the IEBC timelines as we walk towards the 9th of August 2022, specifically because the IEBC has now gazetted 9th August 2022 as the official date of the elections for all positions, beginning from the presidential level up to the MCA level. In preparation towards this date, this election date, the party has briefed the parliamentary group of all the logistical preparations that the party has done towards the nominations, and we continue to assure our aspirants that every preparation is being made at the party level, at the NEC level, to ensure that everybody will get a free and fair chance to contest under the UDA ticket. And at this very early opportunity, let me welcome the partnership of the ANC and Ford Kenya. UDA is a big party, the doors are open, and we welcome many more such partners who would wish to partner, those who find consensus and mutual agreement with the bottom-up economic policy that is going to improve the livelihoods of Kenyans at large. We have also taken this opportunity to discuss the progress of the appointment of the polling center coordinators that has been happening countrywide in the 47 counties. This program was supposed to expire, the days for doing this program was supposed to expire last week, but we have extended this period to allow up to Friday of this week for all those counties that have not concluded the exercise to be able to take time and agree by consent how we are going to appoint and how they will appoint the names of polling center coordinators. The exercise is intended to strengthen the party grassroots structures. It is not intended to cause contestations or fights in the counties and constituencies and wards. So we encourage all our aspirants to work together and agree on that list of names, and these coordinators will be very effective in managing the affairs and the activities of the party at grassroots level. However, we would wish to clarify that these coordinators are not going to be conducting the nomination process, so there is no need for people to fight. There is no need for aspirants to contest over these names, but everybody must get a chance in giving a name of a polling center coordinator, especially when they are registered as aspirants within the UDA party. So thank you very much, and we continue to welcome everybody to join the UDA party. And the young people who have not registered as voters, you have a window right now. IEBC is having an enhanced voter registration program running up to the end of the month. Please make a point of registering if you are not yet registered. And for all those who would like to join the UDA, please visit the eCitizen, resign from the parties that you have been, the parties you do not want to be in, and join the UDA party. Asante sana.
Let me request we can have maybe one or two questions just to clarify on the subject matter that has been discussed in the PG. So, yes, Mr. Mureithi or Amaneto Naniwimjama.
Good afternoon, Deputy President.
Good afternoon.
Three questions. One
question at a time.
If you will probably provide some of the details of this relationship that you formed with the Amani National Congress and for Kenya, and what numbers are you looking at with regards to parliamentary strength, now that most of the talk that is here is with regards to the strength and pushing the agenda that is Hasla driven. And
Some of you know from Citizen TV, one is really emphasis of the first question. The nitty-gritties in the partnership deal with the ANC for Kenya, and then also when it comes down to probably the nominations, how are you going to engage with these two parties?
Thank you very much. As you can see, we do not have the other members of our now enlarged team, ANC and Ford Kenya in our midst. So we will not be in a position to discuss details. We, however, want to tell you and tell the country that if you followed the statement of our friend Musalia Mudavadi, it was about the country, the status of the country, the status of the economy, matters impunity, matters that touch on democracy, matters to do with debt. Those are the issues at the heart of our conversation with our partners in ANC and Fort Kenya. They are the priority discussions that we are having on how do we get this country from where it is, because something urgent, something major has to be done, and that is the discussion we are having. The rest of the details of our relationship will be in subsequent documents. Any relationship between parties will be filed with the registrar of political parties at an appropriate moment. So you might have just to wait a bit for you to get those details, and they will be public. They will not be. They will be very public documents. So you don't have to worry and try and fish around for those details. On the other matter, that on matters to do with Parliament, we are having our parliamentary group meeting today. Our friends will be having, I think, theirs tomorrow or the day after, and we will then subsequently agree on how we are going to conduct parliamentary business and what kind of format we are going to adopt in making sure that we prosecute that parliamentary business jointly and in a coordinated manner. As you heard us announce yesterday, we have already agreed on a series of rallies Wednesday through Saturday, and you will of us in the coming days. So relax. Any other questions? Yes, my good friend. That should be the last one.
James Mbaka from the Star. About two questions. One, you've taken a previous political forming a coalition. What makes ANC or Ford Kenya rather getting a preferential treatment in the arrangement and the equation towards the general election? This is about the political parties amendment bill that is in Parliament. Your new partners have had fairly different to how coalition political parties should approach elections. Now with the coming in on board for the ANC, are you going to see it as a really rather issues that Thank you so much.
UDA continues to believe that the way to eliminate ethnicity from our politics is to work on a national political party. That's a very firm position. We have, however, worked with other political parties for purposes of for elections, especially in the face of the onslaught by those who are ethnic parties. We've seen a proliferation of political parties sponsored purposely for purposes of dividing people and working on dividing our bases. And Fort Kenya have suffered the same fate. ANC have suffered the same fate. And that's the reason why we have decided to come together to stall this onslaught on divisive, sponsorship of parties not meant for any other purpose, but meant for the purposes of dividing people. And that is our mission, that these sponsored political outfits that are indeed different parties, but they are actually ODM outfits, because our competitors cannot face the electorate because of their bad history. So in certain areas, they camouflage themselves as or that party or something called Kuzimia, you know. I mean, who doesn't know that this whole charade around Kuzimia is just ODM trying to reincarnate itself and to pose as something different from what the people of Kenya know them to be. And that is our very firm position. And we have agreed with our partners, ANC and Ford Kenya, that our mission is, as opposed to what our competitors are doing to create divisions, our mission is to unite the country. And so we are pursuing that mission. I thought we have closed that chapter. Thank you very much, good people. There is always another time.
This other one is being sponsored. And number two, now that you're also being open to coalitions, why would your members be opposed to a law that is creating an avenue for creating coalitions? How will you be able to discern now that you're saying ANC is facing the same problem, Ford Kenya is facing the same problem, and all these other political parties are not genuine?
My friend, unless you don't live in Kenya, you know, unless you don't live in Kenya. When we say sponsored political parties, I think you know them as much as I do. And you know who the sponsors are. And you know who are being sponsored. And they are even unapologetic. You know, they say, we are this and this political party, but we support this group. Because those are their sponsors. These are not parties that have been formed for purposes of winning any election. These are parties that have been formed to camouflage, you know, the ugly past of some parties, so that they look different from who Kenyans know them to be. You know, that's really the whole issue. By the way, our position on the political parties bill is very clear. There are provisions inside there that are unconstitutional. And those are the provisions we are against. The Constitution defines what a political party is. You cannot use the law to redefine what a political party is. The clarity with which the Constitution has on matters to do with the powers of independent institutions. You heard IEBC say yesterday that some of the provisions of the Political Parties Act infringe on the functions, the independent functions of IEBC. And I am sure that even if this law is forced through, Kenyans will stand up to it and challenge it in the right places, so that the Constitution is upheld and a free, fair, democratic elections are held. Thank you very much, good people. Asanteni sana. Well done.